My name is Cantor Lizzie Shammash, and I'm happy to be here with you. So great to see all of you this morning. This is IJS Online Yoga Studio. We're glad you're here. It's always better to practice together than to practice alone. Our props for today are going to be the wall. We're going to use the wall for the first half of class, perpendicular to the wall, to place our foot against the wall. So if you have a wall or a table, a bookshelf, a sofa, something to put your foot against. If you don't have it, it's okay if you're somewhere else in the room. As well, a chair, a blanket, and a strap will be optional. So as you're gathering your props, I'm going to share a couple of announcements from IJS, and then we will hop to it and get to our practice. So let's see, coming up this Wednesday, finally, our president and CEO, Josh Fagelson, in conversation with Rabbi Michael Strassfeld. Link in the chat, and Kat will put it in the chat again at the end of class, don't worry. In conversation about Rabbi Strassfeld's new book, Judaism Disrupted, a Spiritual Manifesto for the 21st Century. Rabbi Michael Strassfeld is one of our longtime teachers at IJS, so please check that out. And registration is open for Awareness and Action, which will go through the Omer period between Passover and Shavuot. You can sign up. That's a 9-week course. And more info in the chat for that as well. So let us begin. Today is the 13th of Adar. This evening begins Purim, tonight and tomorrow. And we're going to take a look at some Purim themes today. A mindfulness cut at Megillat Esther. We're going to do that about halfway through our session today. So as I say always, I want to repeat and repeat and repeat. This is your practice, not my practice. So if there's anything that does not work for you, stay very tuned into your own body. You can always do less. You can always do more. You can always choose to stop at any time and do something else entirely. You can rest for the whole session and just listen. You really have space in your own Zoom universe there, so take advantage of that. And the real kavanah of our practice is to land right here at home in the body, in the breath. So anything that allows you to do that is exactly what we would love for you. All right, let us get started. We're going to start on our back, and we're going to be perpendicular to the wall for this moment, these first moments. So I've arranged my mat like so. You can do the same. If you're using a strap, grab it. So the first thing we're going to do is lie down, have the feet up the wall, the heels on the floor for a moment. We're going to come into mountain pose. So slight bend in the knees as you scooch back. This is a really nice way to do this. Toes up the wall, heels at the wall. And then from here, press the feet to the wall so that the skin of the back body moves down the body, that is toward the heels. Particularly, we can smooth out and lengthen the low back, and we can also take the trapezius muscles of the upper shoulders here and draw them downward to just encourage some lengthening, some resting, taking our shoulders away from the ears. You might do this a few times, so make sure you really have good contact with the wall. If you have no wall, then you just want to flex the feet and really have your feet be alert and bright. Spread out the soles of the feet, spread out the toes. And just be here in mountain pose at the wall. You can take the palms and turn them up at your side, so lengthen through the fingertips. Again, drawing the shoulder blades onto the back, down the back. And see how much rest you can bring to the body here, even in slight effort and activation through the feet, the four corners of the feet, inner and outer heel, mound of the big toe over to the little toe. Soften the eyes and soften the throat. So we're going to talk about in a moment in reference to Purim. One of the major things that we do in yoga is soften and slow down and pay attention so that what is concealed in our body structure, what is held in the tissues, any emotions, tensions, can be revealed to us so that we can work on bringing to consciousness what's going on. Physical awareness, mental awareness, emotional awareness that helps us to heal and to access more freedom. So here we are in mountain pose with this beautiful opportunity to just allow the back body to meet the floor, to allow the floor to meet and support the back body. So as you let the breath come and go, notice which parts of the body are more in contact with the floor than others. And see where you can let go, drop in, and be held. If it is accessible to you, inhale and take the arms up overhead, palms facing each other, shoulder blades down. So maybe the arms are extended, lengthened. If there's tightness in the shoulders, maybe you take a scarecrow option, or just widen the arms out to the side. Whatever's doable for you within your shoulders, maybe you want to take the arms a little wider. Let's find that. Heels to the wall, arms extended, and feel as you lengthen the fingertips away and lengthen the tailbone toward the heels, how there's a little bit of hollowing that starts to naturally come to the abdomen. Within that hollowing, see if you can soften. And then we're going to take the right knee and hug it into the chest, keeping that left foot in contact with the wall. And notice right away what happens to the hips. As you draw the right knee in, does the right hip start to hike up on the side? If so, see if you can lengthen the right side waist, even out the hips. And keep that left foot in contact with the wall, or again, if you don't have a wall, with some brightness to it, some alertness. And then we're going to send the right leg up toward the ceiling, so you can either take the strap and send the heel into the strap, or you can just hold the leg behind the calf or behind the thigh, interlace fingers. Keep as much of a bend on the right knee as you like. As you begin to build some sensation through the back of the right leg, left thigh dropping to the floor. Breathe here, shoulders easy. Eyes soft. See if you can let go of any tension in the jaw or the brow. And then take both sides of the strap into your right hand, or keep the right hand behind your right calf. Left arm out to the left side as you inhale, and take the right leg out to the right. And see that you don't topple over to the side. Left thigh is grounded. Notice any sensation, pressure across the low back as you do this. See if you can keep the hips even, extending through both legs. And then inhale, come on back up to center. Release the leg, come back to the wall, and find mountain pose. And once again, you might want to adjust, bending the knees slightly and then pressing the wall away. Just feel the back body to the floor. So one of the themes of Purim is turning things upside down, sense of everything being hafuch, turned. So we're going to practice our standing poses as we're doing right now. We're practicing them on the floor. We're finding this orientation, a little upside down, as it were, and then we're going to bring them to standing in another moment and see what kind of information we gather here to bring a little more consciousness into the system. So now the other side, right leg is pressed to the wall, left knee draws in for a hug. You can take hold of the shin or you can take hold behind the knee, the back of the thigh, draw it in. And once again, notice, does the left hip begin to hike up? Can you drop it? Can you lengthen the side waist on the left equally to the side waist on the right? Pressing into that standing foot, that right foot, letting the right thigh release down toward the floor. And again, allowing the floor to just meet the body and support the body. And we're going to take the left leg up toward the ceiling, either with the strap or clasp hands behind the calf or behind the thigh. Just notice the sensation of pressure across the low back, the back of the hips. And then holding both sides of the strap into the left hand, or holding onto the left calf, taking the right arm out to the right side, and the left leg out to the left. And breathe here. See if you can soften in the abdomen. Anywhere there doesn't need to be effort, can you release? And then inhale, bring the leg back up through center. Find mountain pose once again on the wall. Bend both knees, place the soles of the feet on the floor. And we're going to take figure 4, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. Keep the right foot flexed and then draw the whole thing in toward the body. You can interlace fingers, thread behind the left thigh, and pull the whole structure in. If the hands don't reach, you can take a strap behind the left thigh. Draw the strap toward you. And then release when you're ready, and certainly stay longer if you'd like. And we'll take the other side. Left ankle to right thigh. Figure 4, drawing it in. Remember to keep a light flex on that left foot. You want to protect the ankle joint and the knee joint. Breathe here. Long, smooth, steady breaths. And then release when you're ready. And we'll come on back one more time to mountain pose. And now we're going to take tree pose. So letting the left leg be the standing leg extended toward the wall. You might want to rearrange yourself again as I'm doing, coming a little closer, bending the knees, pressing the feet away, feeling the shoulder blades descend. Bend the right knee, place the sole of the foot on the floor, and then just let the right knee drop out to the side. So it doesn't have to, the heel doesn't have to come in toward the groins, just an easy tree pose. And take your hands to the front of your hips, where you can feel some bit of bone here. We call these in yoga the hip points. Front of the hip, and just see, are they even? You can even take a look down to see where your hands are. We want to have an evenness across the hips. Want them to be in line with each other. And this can be easier to obtain on the floor than standing. So we come in with some ease here. Just making an imprint of tree pose with some stability, the left foot pressed to the wall, the hips even, pretty easy in the body. And then we'll change sides. I'm bringing that right knee up, right foot to the wall, bend the left knee, And then just take the knee out to the side. And notice how it is on this side. Do you tend to tilt over to the left a little? Is the hip tighter? Is it more open? Can you maintain that balance across the hips? Often the two sides are very different. So just taking in this imprint, in this hafuch way, this upside down way, doing tree pose in this lying orientation. So let the nervous system take it in. And then bring the knee back up. And give the knees a little hug. And you can stay on the floor if you'd like while I'm speaking, or if you'd like to come up to sitting. I'll just share a few words on our Purim holiday. So again, today's the 13th of Adar. Tonight is Purim. Tonight and tomorrow. Purim tells us that the Hamans of the world, or the tribe of Amalek, will keep appearing and reappearing throughout history, and that the Jews will keep resisting anti-Semitism and injustice wherever we see it. So Purim is a call to fight injustice, to fight tyranny in any form. It's a call to cultivate our inner Esther character, right? To call forth the bravery to stand up against injustice when we see it around us, despite any dangers, right? So Esther wasn't so brave in the beginning. She needed coaxing, she needed maybe pressure, she needed an internal kind of confidence. We can cultivate the same. You know, I'm thinking about Zelensky. 1 year into the Ukraine war and the kind of bravery and courage he has shown, we can let this be a model for us. I want to call forth one line, one piece of a verse in Megillat Esther in chapter 4, verse 14. Mordechai is trying to convince Esther and say, you can't stay silent. And he says to her, perhaps you have attained this royal position for just such a crisis. Meaning it's beshert, it's meant to be that you were, fate, destiny put you into this situation. He says, Umi yodea, who knows, im le'et kazot, whether to a time like this, higat lemalchut, you have arrived to sovereignty. So we can just kind of tap into that sense. Maybe this life that is meeting us, we have come to it, to our own personal royalty, just for such a situation of handling our own life. It can be comforting. So the word Esther, her name, comes from the verb lehastir, to hide or to conceal. And the word Megillah comes from the verb legalot, to reveal, to be revealed, right? So Purim shows us what's concealed and what's revealed. In this story, there's no mention of God. God is concealed in that way, but God is also revealed through Esther's and Mordechai's courage. So also Esther is concealed as a Jew within the Persian palace. So these levels of concealment and revelation, we wear masks, that is concealing. So what's hidden and what's revealed in our own identities, the masks that we're often wearing, our own identities. And Purim is about also confusion of identities. Who's bad? Who's good? Is it really black and white? Can we see that we're all capable of playing roles within the psychodrama, within the play that is life? And Purim is an orchestrated chaos, right? We wear costumes. We are instructed to drink until we lose control on purpose, right? So that we should drink until we don't know the difference between Mordechai and Haman. We should understand what it means to be drunk on power, so to speak. We should understand moral ambiguity of ourselves in these costumes. Right? There's capability for Esther behavior and Haman behavior. So part of why we're on our mat is to cultivate Esther behavior. And lastly, I want to remind us of the 4 beautiful mitzvot of Purim. One is to hear the reading of the Megillah, which is chanted, of course, in a special cantillation pattern. It's very specific only to this holiday, quite beautiful. Second mitzvah is matanot la'evyonim, gifts to the poor, a reminder that we have to send aid wherever it is needed. Rambam says, for there is no greater joy than to rejoice the hearts of the poor, the orphaned, the widowed, and the stranger. And one who rejoices the hearts of these unfortunates is likened to the divine presence. So matanot la'evyonim. The third mitzvah is mishloach manot, sending gifts to our neighbors. We mustn't become hardened. We should practice a generosity, a giving. And lastly, seudat Purim. We should have a meal on Purim and remind ourselves that we can take bodily pleasure, right? And this stands at the opposite pole of Yom Kippur, when we deny bodily pleasure. So we remind ourselves that we have a practice within Judaism of bodily holiness. Again, part of why we come to the mat, to come flush with that bodily holiness. Beautiful. So if you'll make your way to standing and have your chair nearby. The first thing we're going to do is a standing forward fold. So you may or may not need the chair. I'm offering it for a couple of the things today where I think it can be really nice. So with the feet hip width apart or feet together if you prefer. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward at the crease of the hips. You can place the hands to the chair or the forearms or the head as you fold over. Keep a micro bend on the knees. Draw the thighs back. As you draw the thighs back and take the inner groins back, feel once again that hollowing of the abdominal cavity, lengthening and hollowing, and a lengthening particularly of the lower spine. Send the tailbone away from the crown. And just breathe. Slow, smooth, steady breaths as you feel into the feet, and we allow some sensation to build in the back of the legs. And then if you like, hands to the chair seat or hands to the top of the chair, walk it back to a downward dog shape and extension. Right, so it can be on the seat, it can be on the top. And if you don't have a chair today, you can take a traditional downward dog if you like. You can press the hands into the wall and take L shape on the wall with the palms at the wall. Let the outer shoulders drop and let the inner shoulders lift, continuing to send the thighs back. And then come on up, take your time. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of what we did on the floor onto the chair. So with the left leg as the standing leg, we're going to extend the right leg. Right leg can be on the chair seat, or it can be on the top of the chair. You can equally use a desktop or a stool if you want to be lower than the chair. If you want more on this and you want the full balance pose, you can take hold of the big toe and extend with the arm, or you can take the strap and extend the leg at hip height. So lots of options. So wherever you are, whether it's just lower or it's higher, and feel, remind yourself of the information and the knowledge that you received as the back body was against the floor. That is to say, let the back body fall back. Drop back. Be here and breathe. Strong standing leg. And again, you can take hands to the hip points and just notice, is there a hiking up of the right? Can you drop the right outer hip? Can drop the right sitting bone? You can take a horseshoe with the right hand right where the thigh meets the hip and draw the leg down. And then release. Shake it out as you need and take the other side, whichever option seems to work and may not be the same on both sides. And again, notice any imbalance to the hips. You can take a horseshoe between the thumb and the first finger, right to the top of the thigh where it meets the hip. And just draw it down and out. So it's a little bit of external rotation of the thigh and a dropping down. Firm stance on the right leg, four corners of the right foot, inner outer heel, big toe, little toe. Slow, smooth, steady breaths. Great. And now we're going to do the taking the leg out to the side. So first the right leg will come out to the side. Left leg is a standing leg. And the right leg comes out to the side. And again, it can come to the chair seat. It can come to the top of the chair as I have it. Or you can hold the foot with the strap if you want to work the balance a little more. And again, we're noticing how are the hips. You can take your hands to the front hip points. And yet, once again, you can horseshoe that right hand. Just remind the right thigh to drop. Right sitting bone. And breathe. Firm standing leg. As you're ready, bend the knee, release. Bring the chair to the other side. And I'll show you the lower position here on this side. So now right leg, standing leg. Take the left leg out to the side. Right? So if you want to take it at this level, see what your groins will allow. Firm standing leg. Light flex on the extended leg. And once again, you can horseshoe the hand to the top of the left thigh. Let it descend. Notice as you do that again, is there any kind of softening, hollowing of the abdomen? So what can we allow to move from concealed, Esther, to revealed, Megillah, in the body, in the wisdom? Now we're going to take a tree pose variation, moving the chair over to the right side. We're simply going to take the right foot up to the chair, right? So we have the action, and if you're noticing, we're just doing the same action over and over. It's external rotation of the leg, the hip. Trying to get a sense of how we can do this with greater and greater ease. So left leg is the standing leg, right leg is up. And you can take the arms anywhere you'd like. You could take palms to the chest. If you like, you could take the arms up overhead. Cactus, hands to the hips. Soften the gaze. It's easy. Right, so even if tree pose is a very easy pose for you, it's always nice to just back it up and teach the nervous system the most basic, easeful way of doing the pose and then build. So let there be ease in the hip, let the sitting bone drop, let the balance be easy. And then we'll take the other side. Right leg is the standing leg, left leg comes out to the side. And again, whichever variation you prefer with the hands. The main thing being, find some ease for the hip. Slow, smooth, steady breaths. Great, and when you're ready, release. You can take the same thing over using the chair if you're enjoying that variation, or come to traditional tree pose. Left leg is the standing leg, and bring the right foot to the floor, to the ankle, to the calf, or above the knee. You just never want it to be at the knee. Never want to press against a joint that doesn't go in that direction. And find your tree pose. So again, building on that ease we found. Where are the hip points? Can you even them? Pressing the foot to the leg to the foot, compacting the hips to help find balance. Easy, steady gazing point. Soften the eyes. So let the eyes and the breath work together, and if you fall out of balance, no problem, just come back. And then as you're ready, release. We'll take the other side. So again, either the foot up on the chair or taking a more traditional tree pose, wherever it is you'd like to do it. It could be here, it could be here, it could be above the knee. Find a stillness and ease in your breath, and a stillness and ease in your gaze. So gazing to a fixed point, but the effort is not fixed or aggressive in any way. And then release. Come to mountain pose. And receive your efforts. So without fidgeting, staying steady. Just let the body absorb the knowledge. That you've given it through these various movements so far. And then as you're ready, we're going to come to the floor. And get your blanket. I'm going to sit up on the blanket. I'm taking this fold for myself. See what you need in order to let the low back be tall, right? So we're going to come soles of the feet together. They can be further in toward the groins or further out in more of a diamond shape forward if you prefer. Or you can sit on the edge of your chair if this is too much flexion for the hips, and have the feet on the floor while you do this pose. So I'm sitting up specifically so that there's no rounding of the back, and particularly the lower back, right? So when we sit up, it gives the hips a little more breathing room to be able to then lift the low back and lift through each vertebra of the spine, right? So you want to have nice length and openness here. Let the feet come wherever they are. You can take the first two fingers and wrap them around your big toe. You could take hands behind you, come prop up on the fingertips and draw the elbows toward each other. Allow the chest to lift. as the shoulder blades draw toward each other. So a few different options, whatever works best for you. Centering on the two sitting bones, right and left, that form the base of the pelvis. Even sitting promotes even breathing. If you would like, you can begin to fold forward. Using the inhale to lengthen the spine and the exhale to fold. And at some point, if you'd like to round, if that feels better, go for it. But first, finding some nice length for the low back. Keeping the left foot where it is, we're going to extend the right leg long. If you have your strap, you can grab it, place it around the right foot, and lift up tall. Left knee out to the side. You can stay right here, or you can begin to fold forward if you'd like, with the strap or without. Maybe the hands come to the right foot. Maybe you have the hands out to the sides, tenting the fingertops and lengthening. And so there's a little bit of a twisting action here, right? We have to kind of twist a little bit to square over the right leg, and then we fold. Inhale and come on up as you're ready. And then we'll switch sides. Lengthening the left leg. Right knee is bent out to the side, sole of the foot in toward the side of the knee or further in toward the groin. Whatever's working for you. If you have your strap, you'll take it to the foot and lift up. The strap is around the ball of the left foot so that the ball of the foot can press into the strap at the same time the strap is pulling. So you have a bit of a flex on that foot, or as we say in yoga, a floint. There's the extension of the point and then also some flexion. It's a little bit of both. And then if you would like, beginning on the exhale to fold forward. Soft, smooth, steady breaths. As you're ready, inhale and come up. I'm going to offer us one last thing. If your wrists are sensitive, this one is not for you. If your wrists are sensitive, I'll ask you to come to your back and hug the knees toward the chest. But if this is okay for you, take your hands behind you with the fingers pointed toward the hips. The elbows draw toward each other, so they're not splaying. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Inhale, press into the feet and lift the hips up. Lengthen the tailbone and breathe here in this tabletop. Chin can be tucked toward the chest or the head can be back. Whatever works for your neck, be mindful of that. Press into the palms. Lift the hips up. Breathe here. And then as you're ready, release. Just something to, again, widen out the lower back, even us out a little. And then we'll all come down to the floor, lowering down and hugging the knees to the chest. You can let the knees sway a little bit side to side. Or take the hands to the kneecaps and take the knees in a circle, both directions, you decide. For the next minute or so, let's drop into some improvisation, just taking whatever movement or stretches your body is calling for. Not from your mind, but from inside the body. Is there anything the body wants to do, anything the body missed, anything the body wants to build on? Allow yourself to be guided improvisationally from within for a couple of moments before we settle into stillness. Trust yourself. Again, helping to build the qualities of Esther within us. Just this basic trust of where does my body want to go helps to build courage. And then as you are ready, settling into stillness. You might make a bolster with your blanket for under your knees, or you might place it under your head. You might wish to place your lower legs onto the chair. This might want more of a traditional final relaxation pose with the body long, legs long. See what you need. We'll take a few minutes. Just let our practice settle. Let our practice settle into the heart, into the body's, into the nervous system's wisdom. Know where you need to go and nothing you need to do. Surrender and be quiet and still. Begin to deepen the breath, coming back to the surface. If you have time for a longer Shavasana today, by all means stay. You can turn off the video, a little more quiet time. If you're returning to your day, just take a nice yawn stretch, wiggle the fingers and the toes. And make your way over onto one side into a fetal position. And find your way up to a comfortable seat. And just take a moment before we close our practice to once again find that balance of the sitting bones, the lift of the spine, and just observe, feel. Notice if there's any resonance, any echo of today's practice anywhere in your body. Notice if the hips are feeling any different in particular. And then allow the palms to meet in front of the heart. Allow right and left to meet each other. As your thumbs press into your sternum and lift your sternum, allow the head to bow, allow the chin to bow to the chest. Maybe you have a personal kavanah to set for this day or for this week or for this chag. Maybe you just want to take a deep breath and breathe in that quality of Esther's courage. Maybe it was for this crisis that you were born into royalty. And allow the hands to drop, allow the chin to lift, allow the eyes to open if you've had them closed. Shavua Tov, wishing you Chag Purim Sameach, fulfillment of all the mitzvot, and a continuation of the edict of the month of Adar, Mishenichnas Adar, Marbim Besimcha, whoever enters Adar grows in happiness. If you're off, have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and if you're able to stay, we'll have some time for Q&A. About 13 minutes we have to field any reflections on today's practice, how it landed for you in your body, in your mind. Feel free to put a question into the chat or to use the hand raising icon under reactions. I'm happy to take thoughts. Okay, let's see. Bina, you just need to unmute.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just happened to stumble on this morning, and I've always thought I couldn't do yoga at all because I have had back surgery and I suffer from chronic pain, but I usually do Qigong. But I really loved the flow of this class and the space, alternating with form, and the emptiness was really powerful for me. So is this a regular class?
Yeah, we're here every Monday except for national holidays and Jewish holidays, but we're here every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And it's a free offering, so come back, join us.
I will. Thank you.
And if you did not sign up through the website, Kat can put that link that you can sign up to get receive the weekly reminder. So you'll get the link and be reminded every Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And is this the only time that
This is the only time for yoga, and then we have a daily meditation sit every day, 12:30 to 1 Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no more. But you personally are not teaching any other classes?
I'm just the yoga. Every once in like maybe once a quarter I pop in for leading the sit, but mostly I'm here on Mondays. And most of the time it's me. Every now and then we have wonderful subs when I'm away. But it's a great community. We've been here since the beginning of the pandemic, and so glad you made it here, Bina. That's great, and I'm glad that this practice today was accessible for you.
Yeah, very much so. Okay,
Fantastic. Keep it up.
thank you.
Refuah shlema with anything that you're working on in your body. Yeah. Jared, hi.
How's it going? Thank
Going
you so
good.
much. Once again, just thank you. Appreciate what you're doing.
Thank
And
you. I want to say I appreciate you and being here so regularly and so often. It's just like really a model for everybody else. So, from my
thank
heart
you.
to yours, thank you for your persistence, consistency, and determination in your practice.
Thank you
Yay!
so much. Thank you so much. Wouldn't be here without you guys. Absolutely.
Mm.
And which is kind of what I was reflecting on about a year ago today, as we all know, roughly a year ago, a darker part of our humanity was manifest on the world stage in the form of wars and all kinds of icky things if you really look at the dark. But a year ago today, many of us were practicing yoga. So a year later, let's compare and contrast. Which is the better outcome? A year of practicing yoga or a year of baseless hatred and violence? The answer is obvious. So I'm just so grateful a year later to be able to be healthy and safe and to be enjoying another session with you all.
Mm. Amen. And what you're saying too is like, is it where we can make effect, what can we do? And that's why I always want to remind us of the mitzvot of Purim, because it's not just, oh, receive the Megillah and listen. It's study it and also give to the poor and also mishloach manot, and I always just take this, especially matanot la'evyonim, to give generously to those who are in need, as really important and serious practice of Purim. Yeah. So thank you, Kate.
Hi, Lizzie. Since the pandemic kind of lessened, I started teaching again, and I haven't been to your yoga class for some time. But here I have COVID now. My first time,
Oh,
I got COVID on vacation, and I found myself here quarantined in a condo. And as what usually happens to me in times of need, I turn to my Jewish community. I turn to things that have supported me in the past. So I just want to say thank you. I am back, and this was just what I needed this morning without having to leave the house. I was nourished in many ways. So I'm glad
hmm.
you're still there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amen. Amen. Cantor Ricky Lippitz put a question here in the chat. I offered a number of insights here. Let's see, which of these are the most meaningful to you, and can you say a bit more about any of them? That's such a tough one, Ricky. I mean, I think I offered a potpourri because I had a hard time settling, to be honest, on like a theme that felt the most important in this holiday. But I really am taken by Esther's courage. I really am taken also by the cyclical nature of how this all works. And without getting too deeply into the politics of Israel right now, I know we all come from many places. But if you've been following what's going on with Netanyahu and potential changes to the judiciary and the number of protests and people that are out in the street, I'm also given pause to, is Netanyahu a Haman in this day to any of us? Does it feel in that way? And what happens when it feels like a source of injustice is coming from within? I think it's not something that we're used to. So the idea that identities can shift and change, and we have to bring our consciousness to what's for the greater good and what is justice and what is injustice. And then also in our practice, we also have to give room to all the voices, even the ones we don't agree with, right? Because, I think in our politically polarized world that we've been in here in the US as well, it can be very hard to talk to each other and hear the other. And so who I might see as, this one is Mordechai and this one is Haman, somebody might be in front of me who feels the opposite. And how can I listen? How do I open to that? It's something I'm struggling with. I imagine we all might be struggling with. And then this, I love the Hebrew language. So I'm not answering you with one thing, Ricky, but I love the Hebrew language. I love the way you can find your way into words through their shorashim, through their roots. And I love the idea that Esther is connected to Lahastir, that Megillah is connected to Legalot, that we can see and try to look for in our awareness practices. What is concealed to me and what is hidden to me, and what do I need to pray for, to request, hope for something to be made clear, made revealed. So just a few of my thoughts. I mean, I welcome all of yours as well. It's a packed holiday, and I think sometimes it goes by, especially when we're around children or a loud kind of very extroverted expression of Purim in the synagogue. We can, amidst all the noise, which is really fun, don't get me wrong, it's fun, we sometimes can miss kind of the depth or what we need to sit with personally. So, I think our yoga practice offers us a different way to practice Purim. Rabbi Marsha, go for it. Thank you for waiting patiently.
Hi, Lizzie. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm wondering how, I've been thinking a lot at this Chag this year about Lahastir and Legolot. And I'm wondering any suggestions you have for embodying those two ideas? I know you talked about it in the practice today, but kind of during a day, during this 24, 36 hours, whatever, how might we embody revealing and hiding those two, and Lahastir, Legalot?
Such a great question. Rabbi Marsha Plum, everybody. My dear colleague, we met in IJS in the Clergy Leadership Program. Are you still in the Boston area? Yeah, she's in the Wellesley area. Take advantage, those of you Bostonians. It's such a great question, Marsha. I wonder if we could, it prompts me to create a practice for today, for the next 36 hours, to just maybe pause every couple of hours and ask oneself, what feels revealed to me in this moment. If you're out taking a walk, it's like, okay, I can see this, I can see the sun, I can see the clouds, I can see the trees, I can see the flowers in their abnormal state of early bloom here in Philadelphia. And what do I not see?
Yeah.
What do I not see that I wonder about?
Yeah, lovely.
Or to take it into our own feelings realm too, right? To sit for 5 minutes quietly in meditation today, this evening, tomorrow. And after the 5 minutes, to just be with the question, what feels really obvious? What feels revealed in my emotional landscape? What feels present, I feel joyful. I feel a tightening in my chest. I feel some sadness. I feel, what can we name?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is it that I'm really not in contact with, that I wish to be revealed? A friend wrote to me last Friday, oh, Shabbat Shalom, a colleague of mine, Shabbat Shalom, I have a cry in me. My tears won't come up. I can't get it up. Any suggestions, for that? And so it's like, is there something that's wanting to birth, to be revealed, to be known? And then just making, kind of maybe closing the meditation with a kavanah for that it can be revealed to you. I'm finding that practice is super helpful lately. It's kind of like a cousin to hitbodedut, isn't it? To being just alone with God or with Shekhinah, or however you understand God, to speak out loud and to say, I'm really needing help with X. I'm really trying to understand why. Can you help such and such be made more clear to me? And I find that when I ask that, specifically at nighttime, I find some more clarity in the morning, right? So it's like directing our attention to the Esther parts. And then look at, my mom's Hebrew name is Esther Malka. Right? So this is really her holiday. So I was thinking, I need to call her today and just remind her of all her courage in her life and her namesake. So I only mention that to say, how can we find the calling of Esther Hamalka, or Esther Malka if you're a Yiddishist, to really come to the forefront of our own persona.
Lovely. Those are great. They've given me a lot to think about, a lot to notice what our body is telling us that is hidden or needs to be revealed, and how to use our senses to help us understand that as well, and sitting with whatever needs to come up. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there's the layers, right? Because it's what the mind level, the heart level, the intuition, gut level, the general body level. Of course, we're not pieces, we're one whole self, but sometimes we need to break down to check in with those various parts. Sandy says, calling your mother is always a good thing. So if you don't call your mother, living or dead, contact your mother. You can contact my mother, Esther Malka. She's happy to hear from you. And love to all. Chag Purim Sameach. However you're celebrating, stay well, and we'll see you next.